In this video, I'm going to share with you the 4 reasons that Tyron Woodley guaranteed himself a knockout by his opponent Jake Paul. But first, if this is your first time joining us, hi, my name is Leo with MMA Supercharged, the place for fighter news. Win or lose, we share the full story with the MMA community. If this is your first time joining us, I want to thank you and welcome you to the team. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, let's talk about what everybody's probably thinking by now. What in the world happened last night? First of all, the fight was an absolute disaster. If you listen to the commentary given by the commentators, they were laughing at these guys. Both of them were a nightmare. Both of them sucked. They came out. Neither one of them were actually connecting shots. Neither one of them were earning points. But what they were doing is they were showing each other a lot of love. They spent a tremendous amount of time hugging each other. I mean, clinching with each other. The fight was an absolute nightmare. It was a disaster. And to be quite honest with you, had Jake Paul not knocked him out, I think that his boxing career would be 100% over. Nobody would have ever again watched Jake Paul fight had he not got that knockout. And to be honest with you, yes, it only takes one good bang to get it, but I think it was a disaster, and it was pretty sad watching these two out there trying to put on what they called a boxing match. But to the topic of the video, Tyron Woodley almost guaranteed himself that he was going to get knocked out. Reason number 1, Tyron kept saying, this is not really boxing, this is entertainment. Guys, the first time he said, this ain't really just boxing, it's entertainment, I didn't really think much of it. I thought, okay, yeah, it makes sense. But then he said it again. Hey man, this is not boxing, this is entertainment, we're entertainers. I thought to myself, all right, that's the second time I heard him say that. But then he said it again and again and again and again and again. And then I started to wonder, why is this guy steady say, this ain't really boxing, this is entertainment? And the reason that was problematic is because I think a lot of people started to wonder, is this some sort of a collab? Are these people trying to finesse the fans, like Jake wins the first, I win the second, then we go for the third? Is this all cap, or is this actually a fight? So the fact that he kept saying this is entertainment, clearly in his mind, he saw himself different than what boxers and fighters see themselves as. What are they supposed to see themselves like? Boxers and fighters. Number 2, Woodley said that, hey man, I stayed in shape. I trained for a few months. I think quickly what Tyron Woodley saw is that there is a difference between a guy that is just training to be in shape and training for a fight. Now, although I do not credit Jake Paul's knockout to some incredible training that he went through and prepared as a superior athlete, what I do give him credit for is the fact that he was disciplined in his diet, in his workouts, and Jake Paul, unlike Tyron Woodley, never said this is entertainment. The entire time, Jake Paul's mentality was, this is war. This is my time to make right what other people said was wrong with the first fight. And I could respect that. A guy comes in and says, we're gonna box, we're gonna fight. You expect him to be a little aggressive. You expect him to be a little excited, maybe a little supercharged. Clearly see that there was a difference in motivation and the level of enthusiasm going into this fight. Number 3, Tyron Woodley, plain and simple, caught feelings for Jake Paul. Let me explain. The first fight, when they sat down head to head, what did you see? I'll tell you what I saw. I saw 2 dudes that were ready to go to war. I saw 2 dudes who didn't like each other. I saw 2 dudes who had animosity. And guess what? That's what makes a good fight. That's what the fans want to see. That's what everybody wants to see. They want to see beef, and they want to see it handled in a ring or in a cage. What happened recently? What happened with the sit down prior to the second fight? Well, Jake Paul decides to give Tyron Woodley a Rolex. That's nice. Every time that Tyron Woodley would interrupt or speak over Jake Paul, and Jake say, come on, let me talk, Tyron would say, oh, my bad, go ahead. And though that might be okay when you're dealing with people in the real world, when we're talking about two fighters about to go to war who supposedly promise to knock each other's heads off, it's a little odd to see one giving a gift and the other one being super polite, respectful, delightfully sitting there giggling with Jake Paul. My observation is they got a little bit too friendly, a little bit too comfortable, and I think both of them forgot that this was supposed to be a fight, not a love fest. And number 4, Tyron Woodley came out there over-promising and unfortunately under-delivering. He came out to the fight with someone rapping, and he came out with his headphones. His eyes looked a little bit deranged or a little zooted. Maybe he took an extra tranquilizer. I don't know what this dude was thinking, but he came out there. It didn't look like he was hyped up. It didn't look like he was ready for war. It didn't look like he was going to do, well, what he said he was going to do. Jake came out there loose, excited, laughing at his enemies, ready to fight. The fact that he didn't fight, that's a whole nother video. Even after he got knocked out, he said, this ain't over. This is a movie. This is like Rocky. Can somebody tell this dude he is not Rocky and this is not a movie? With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time on MMA Supercharged. Peace.